Sorry about that. I got a new. Almost broke it. I got a new diffuser and all that. But anyway, let me just get myself a little bit situated and flip. Or not. I'll just put it back the way it was and make this harder than it needs to be. But anyway. So, about this shenanigan thing that, has to stop. Because. It's so agitating. Anyway. This thing that I'm getting kind of a little annoyed at. Hello, Kayla. This whole thing that I'm pretty agitated, annoyed, sick of, and kind of am at the point where it's just like, if it keeps up, hi Fiona, if it keeps up, I might have to be using this thing. And I really don't want to use this thing. But anyway. Hello, Blue. You know what really grinds my gears? When people that claim to be, how do you put this? Like they're on a spiritual path and they are in a more higher vibrational way of thinking and living. Yet then they turn around and then they just start pushing down another person's belief system. Or they're labeling someone else's belief system as evil, malefic, dark, destructive, and just painful. And the reason why I'm bringing this up again is because there was a well-known YouTuber that actually used the inverted pentagram, and they were saying that the Baphomet symbol was used, and it's pretty much like a connecting the dots with saying that something evil is happening. Well, for one thing, just because something is not so comfortable for you, it can be comforting to somebody else. Just because you don't like something, oh well, somebody else may like it. What brings somebody peace may make you not feel peace. But that doesn't give you the right to say, well, this symbol is out there, it's evil, so everybody look at this symbol, it's evil. You cannot do that. You can't tell people what is going to be malefic for them and supportive towards them. They have to experience it themselves. You can give your account, so that way you can share your experience, but that's different. But saying, like, for an example, somebody comes up and says, like, oh, the inverted pentagram, and it has the Baphomet head in the middle. That's bad. That's evil. Stop it. God. For how old now? And we've been doing this for how many thousands of years? Can we, scooch past this, please? Because it was cute the first few thousands of years, but now it's getting like, oh, here we go again. Boring. Besides, why go along with the charade of a big pile of he who fonts that are degrading these other divine beings because, oh, they're not part of us, so fiends. God forbid. God forbid there's another entity besides, he who's definitely the first narcissist to exist. God forbid. Come on, dude. Like, why would even anybody want to go along with that? Something that says, I love you, but if you don't come and accept me, you're going to go and suffer. That's not love. That's kind of like bribing and kind of, how do you put this? It's like guilt tripping to an extent where it's messing with somebody's mind. And that's kind of, I don't know, what's that called? Psychological abuse. Saying that if you don't go towards this way, you're going to suffer in all eternity and be damned. Wow. Last I checked, well, the ones on the left, they don't threaten you like that. Last I checked. But that's not my business. What do I know? And I personally don't understand why go along with something that says, oh, there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with me. I need to be safe. Are you sure? Who's the one that's pointing fingers and saying I'm impure? Hi, Adam. Yeah, I got my weave cut. And actually, speaking of that, Verena, and yes, I did get a haircut. We're gonna actually exercise, the thing inside your cranium real quick, because this is actually helpful. Where does light come from? Primarily, outside. Where does the light come from? The sun. Okay, we got that. Splendid. So we know that the light comes mainly from the sun when it comes to nature. Okay, hold that. Who or what's holding the sun in place? Yeah, I got the gist. But, so we know that the sun is, where all the light comes from. What's holding the sun in place? What's surrounding the sun and all the planets and everything that's out there that we haven't seen yet? The dark. So which one is having a lot more cold? Yes, blue. It's the dark. And funny enough, as Nick said to me many moons ago, all the dark is just a void where everything you say that's in there is what comes out. So why be afraid of something so giving and always giving what you want? Why be afraid of it? If you say that there's wealth in there, that's what comes out. If you say that there's only all your wishes being fulfilled, that's what comes out. Why be afraid of it? And learn to see without your eyes. That's when you can see everything crystal clear. Because without the dark, what's going to hold the sun and the light? Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. And there's the twilight point, which is when you have the dark and the light stop one another. It's the middle, which is ruled by Mercury. But nonetheless, getting back on point here. It's... If somebody is going to be trying to push... It's because for Nyx, essentially how it was written, I believe, from Homer's hand, from the void came Nyx. From chaos came Nyx. And chaos is this being where it's essentially the void, also known as K2, is where it's just like nothing, the void. And that does include the dark. From the void, there's nothing, which is nothing, literally. From nothing, something triggered. From the void came Nyx, the dark. And Nyx is essentially the personification of actually giving this dark awareness a name. It's just that usually, at least with the Greeks, for Nyx, they considered her a female goddess. To best explain how it is, have any of you heard of that room where it's so, like the way it's built up, the sound waves, it's so quiet that you can hear your blood pretty much just go through your veins? It's like completely quiet, no noise, no nothing, no sound, no nothing. Can't even see anything. Just silence. That's pretty much what it's like. But the thing is, being exposed to complete silence for a while will drive you mad. Believe it or not. That's why some people, when it gets awfully quiet, they get so uncomfortable. And that's the void. Nothing. Just that void state. It seems like, oh, that sounds so simple. After a while, your mind and your thoughts, they're still active. So they'll be putting something in front of you, or some kind of a hallucination in front of you, so that way something happens. Because in this physical body, in the physical realm, everything's still moving. Things have to move. Being still, it messes with the mind. Point being is that from the void came Nyx, and Nyx is primarily seen as the oldest goddess figure. From Nyx came all the other divine beings, and then also her younger sibling brother Erebos. That's when some of the other divines came through, like Thanatos. But even also Nyx bore some of her own children without help of Erebos also, if that makes sense. Because from nothing, from nothing came, well, because from the dark, like what I said earlier, from what she said, whatever you say is in the dark is what comes out. So this awareness had, from the void came Nyx, from the dark, and since Nyx is a female goddess figure, is able to bore and bring into this awareness all the ones that she brought in. If that makes it any clearer, but usually when it comes, it's mainly a symbolic thing, if that makes sense. Because in order to bring into the physical awareness with the light, being able to see and see it be tangible, you have to go from a state where there's like a void and pretty much a sense of feeling, the dark. From the dark, from the void, comes out what you're bringing out, which is now being able to be seen and tangible. It's quite the deep mind. It gets the best put it gets that hamster on the hamster wheel in your head going, trying to figure out, wait, then what about this and this and this and this? Yeah. I really like how that diffuser works. Not better than the last one. But anyway, after going off that little tangent, it gets pretty agitating and pretty sickening that, oh, we're still doing this thing again? The good versus evil thing again? Why are we still doing this? How about we just do this? Can we stop, pointing fingers at the left-handed path people and the Satanists and say, oh, they're evil and bad? Give it a break. Because it was cute at first, but now it's getting kind of pathetic. Yeah, it gets pretty pathetic after a while. It's like, gee, if you're going to be bashing, Satanists and their belief system, you're doing the same thing as being Islamophobic. It's the same thing. The only thing that's different is the religion in hand. And funny enough, at least in the United States, their right to religious practice and belief is protected by the Constitution. If you don't like it, stick it, piss it, and lick it. Go away. Skedaddle. Duct tape it. Well, let's see if I can explain that. There are a total of, that's said, 3 types of beings according to the Hindu belief system, which is actually very close. And actually, I kind of agree with it mainly. The first kind is the Deva, which is the divine, the ones above. The second is the Asuras, the people. The Asuras, also known as demons, have one agenda and what they're really trying to do. They're trying to bring what's up in the divines, in the Deva, down to earth to enjoy. They try so hard to recreate sometimes, and I've learned this the hard way too, Adam. Sometimes the best thing to do is just not accept it, because it will drive you mad sometimes. Because there's a lot of things that I'm like, I don't get it, but I'm just gonna roll with it. That's the letting go and just accepting it. You'll get to it. Yeah. But the Asuras, they're trying to bring the Deva, the divine, and that experience down to earth. Their paradise they're trying to bring down to earth. And whatever a certain assures pretty much paradise is. Yep, Fiona, got it. Said it better than I ever could. So the Asuras, the demons, are trying to pull it down to earth to experience. And the guru, Shukacharya, Venus, Lucifer, he's actually the guru that guides them to help them get to the means of pulling that paradise down. To enjoy this earth. Because once you enjoy this earth, that's where you're going to be detached from it, and then you're going to want to experience the highest divinity. Oh, and Venus can help you with that too. Same way. But now we're getting down into the last kind of being, the Rakshas, which are the ones that are tamasic, like destructive, selfish, and really all about enjoying the pleasure at any cost, destroying anything, causing harm. Think of it like I don't care, go ahead and put me at the stake. Like the Taliban, that's malefic, and that's being a Rakshas. Then there's also the drug cartel, that's another one. There's those who are in power that are trying to suppress people and cause harm and kill off people just to hold their agenda. That's Rakshas. It is what it is. I don't like it either, but that's just what it is. And essentially the Devas, well, that one's self-explanatory. But the Rakshas put on masks to make them look like Asuras, but they're not. And usually the ones that are really the Rakshas are the ones that have the mask of oh, I'm a good person. I'm doing this. Look at all these great things I'm doing. But they're not really doing it for that reason to help people. They just want to get their notice me points in. Which is... Don't be like that. But anyway, now, at the end of the day, it all comes down to what's the intention of somebody's message and what they're putting out. Are they putting out this message to keep people confused? Or are they putting out this message because something for them to be aware of? Are they putting out this message because they want to keep control? Or are they putting out this message because they want to, make a certain group of people seem bad when they actually aren't, and they are just practicing their religious faith like everybody else, and somebody's hissy-fitted because it's dark and they don't like the dark? God forbid. Not the dark. I can't see in the dark. I need to be blinded by the light. God forbid. I can't have the dark. Dimwit. To me, it's just agitating. So, it would be so much better, so much better, if somebody just picked up something like this, like this nice little blunt object, and go to the back of the head, give them a brain reset, and hopefully, that'll, wake the head up, being like, oh, wait a minute, I should stop doing this because it's stupid. Because, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of beliefs that I don't like. In fact, there's a few that make me go, really? That's what you believe in? Wow. Barbaric. But it is what it is. I'm not putting it down. It's just what it is. But they have a right to believe and practice what they do. But they do not have a right to swing in another belief system saying that it's evil, it's bad, it has people kill children, murder babies, kidnap animals, and just do sickening things. No. That's a sign of somebody having a little... And they might be psychologically ill. Hey, don't look at me. I'm not the one over here being all well... The Satanists, they like to behead babies. Really? Ew, gross. What in the world made you come up with that? They're dark. Well, okay. Well, somebody is claiming to be all, light and bright, but I mean, look at him. I mean, he, advocated for a woman to be raped, but that's none of my business. What do I know? Don't look at me. Well, the thing is with seduction, you really just gotta be able to just to put off the persona and being able to just to tickle the head. Metaphorically, not literally. Yeah. And to add on to that, Blue, how about instead of being all like, them, it's their fault, how about instead just go, put the finger down, stop fingering everybody else, and then point it back at yourself instead. And be like, we failed. This belief system that we've been following needs to be fixed. And instead of worrying about everybody else, let's build ourselves up first instead. And for God's sakes, do not think a woman is property and do not hit her. If your faith believes that, snap your faith book in half. I don't care. I don't care. Because if somebody thinks that, oh, woman, well, I own her and I can do what I want with her. That's pretty inviting to have, my patella go right up your rectum. And don't look at me, I wasn't the idiot. But anyway. Yeah, because I mean, I get pretty feisty when things like that come up. Like, oh, I can treat a woman however I want to. Okay, well, if that's the case, well, joke's on you. So I hear you, like, having more than just your two front teeth knocked out of your head. And it even shows that, wow, dude, you have to treat a woman like this because you don't know how to properly approach her and interact with her like a decent human being? You don't know how to do that, so you had to act like a twathead? Wow, okay. And wow. And I thought, the first man was pathetic. I would say Adam, but it probably would have to go over well. So I would say, wow, and I thought the first man was a big mistake. In all due respects, but still, nonetheless. And I don't want to make it seem like, oh, I'm swinging at Adam, because I'm not the Adam that's, in the chat, because that's not nice. Not at him. The first one. Like the first man thing to exist. Yeah. I tried my best to be a little bit, mindful and considerate, and I don't want to be all like, wow, that was a bit uncalled for. Trying, no, at least. But the inside joke is like, oh boy, one of the man things. And there are even some people that even go all like I've had a few people. Exactly. That's why I use it, because Lady Dimitrescu is actually very Lothian, believe it or not, like extremely Lothian. Because I mean, well, for one, vampiric. Two, I mean, that class though. I mean, essentially like Lilith in a nutshell. And even also like with her daughters of Lilith. Exactly, Bella too. Well, it's just that for me, as right now, I'm pretty much more focused on being more putting my investment and focus onto something more else. Me, for Medusa, I see her as a figure that was completely mistreated and pretty much, how do I put this? Like, she was treated in a way that was pretty unjust and kind of disgusting. To have, put it this way, you have somebody who's your devotee, Athena, calling it out. You have your devotee who has been committed and devoted and pretty much was at your temple every day, doing the obligations, maintaining the temple, and giving her chastity towards you, and having that purest and most committed devotion. And then when you have the incident of her getting water from the ocean and to come in and scrub the floors, keeping her devotion, then you have Poseidon come in and be all like, oh, I want this one. And then she is telling him, no, I don't want to be with that. No, Poseidon, I can't do this. I swore my chastity to Athena. So he gets into a hissy fit, tries to violate her on the shore. She bucks it over into Athena's temple, locks the doors, and she falls in front of a statue of Athena, pleading, Athena, please help me, Athena. I need your help. Poseidon's trying to violate me. Please, I need your assistance. I hear something, but I'm not gonna do... I keep hearing something. Poseidon breaks down the door and violates her in Athena's temple. Athena goes, oh, I cannot have this. You desecrated my temple. Really? Because it seems like you're the one that was all... Instead of like attending and pretty much coming to the aid of your devotee. So then you punish her instead of going after Poseidon for violating her. That's pathetic. Pathetic. No ifs, ands, buts, or tushies. That is just pathetic. There is no way, no ifs, ands, buts, or tushies. Hang on. Give me just a sec. Anyway, yeah, completely. And I mean, I know there's some people that say, well, it was a blessing to her. Some people say that Athena gave it to her so that way it wouldn't happen again. Which, okay. But in my loving opinion, if you want to make sure that something doesn't happen to someone again, you don't make them look like a monster that they actually flee and then they look at themselves and they begin hating themselves more. No, that's psychological abuse. That's abuse. And to your own devotee? Wow, no. And there are some tales that say, well, she did, run off with somebody else. Well, I'm not really sure about that, because what about that time with Arachne? That she lost the stitching competition, and she was a sore loser, and she turned Arachne into a spider. God forbid, I lost the knitting contest, so I'm going to make my opponent become a spider. Boo-hoo! So what if a mortal beat you? Maybe that should inspire you instead. That's none of my business. I'm not really... about Arachne, I'm not really sure, but still nonetheless. To me... Yeah, and the thing is, too, because of, like, how Medusa was, like, given that, affliction, it also cost her her life. So it's like you have to take it in perspective, like what she's thinking and going through her mind. Like, I gave my devotion just to turn into this monstrosity for nothing. That is pathetic. When you have someone commit and devote to you and willing to give their everything for you, and then you turn around and do that to them, sorry, that doesn't earn my respect. No. Because if you're a divine figure like Athena is, you have to lead by example. You have to pretty much be the one that you have to guide the devotee and the committed one. You have to guide them, and you have to be the example for them to look up to. In this case, not so much. Missed it pretty bad. I'm not trying to say to be biased, but I'm trying to keep it in a neutral standard. Like, devotee chose to give up life, chastity, and put in all this effort just to be ignored when she gets violated. Don't look at me. It is what it is. But in terms of me personally, I can't see that as something to be admirable of. I may be, but still, it's things like that that really makes you have to wonder that sometimes Divinity also has to learn a lot of lessons. And both man and divine and astral entity both have to pretty much learn from each other. And you didn't hear this from me, but this thing is that as pretty much like how humans also had to learn some self-control, self-restraint, and have discipline and focus, divinity needs it too sometimes. Sometimes they do. Because the way I look at it, it's like they're an equal. If they get out of control, they need to be reminded that, hey, easy, cupcake. It is what it is. But some things, like with the case with Medusa, what happened to her was unjust. And she deserves to be given that redemption that she should have been given so long ago. Because what she had to go through and then be killed was unnecessary. And it's pretty sad. Because having that sense of devotion and commitment to someone, only for them to turn around and stab you in the face, that's unacceptable. And that's, to me, something not admirable, and something that I can't be like, yeah, I look up to that figure. I can't do it. Because as far as I see it, it's like, how am I supposed to know that if I'm giving devotion to this entity? Giving this devotion, I'm expecting that, this figure is going to come in and guide me and, be there for me and help get me through whatever situation. But if this being that I'm giving this devotion to is going to turn around and stab me in the face, just by putting in the effort, nope. That's treachery. That is treachery. That's betrayal. And that's not very wise. Wisdom does not act petty like that. But anyway, that's enough of that little rant about Medusa, and I believe she does deserve to be redeemed. Most definitely. But yeah, pretty much that was really the whole message in the beginning. Just like, can we please stop swinging at the left-handed path, the Satanist, the Luciferianism people? Can we please stop that? It was cute a long time ago, but I think we're kind of grown up now to get past it. Please. Which cards are missing? Really? Okay. That was quite the weird pull. But anyway. And I've been thinking about also kind of doing a fresh meat tarot readers course thing. I've been thinking about it, but because the way that I've taught people how to read these things. I like to keep it simple, but also teach people in a way that's intuitive. Because I don't like people doing this. I need the booklet. I need the booklet. I don't like people that think that, oh, I can't read tarot unless if I have this thing, and I have to go by what the book says. No. Be intuitive. This High Priestess is going to be speaking completely different than this one. Here. Let me go fishing for She Who's Most High. So somebody cue the Jeopardy music. Oh wait, you can't do that because it's copyright. Oh, there we go. So yes, you can definitely see these high priestesses are completely different, and they have a different tone to them. One is more dressed in blue and more sacred and a little bit more fluid. One is a little bit more in tune with the darker side, and also is able to actually fly within the subconscious and the spiritual realm because of the wings. And because since the environment around her is destroyed, it could also show that the symbols of the B and the J, don't you think like that, you nasty? Well, it seems like what these represent has fallen. See? That's why I prefer to teach people to be intuitive reading. That way they can pick up any deck and they can just go with it instead of being like the same thing that comes out every time when you pull a High Priestess card from every deck is the same thing. No. Don't limit yourself, please. Each deck... Oh, hello. Oh, look, it's Satana's in the devil. As I like to call the Chris Farley of the deck. Live life, live it hard. But with this one, it's more like an overjoyed figure that is really excited that you're ready to come in and actually jump into a new passion because of the fire down below. It could possibly be guiding you into discovering a new passion that's on the material plane and to actually live life and enjoy it. As an example. It's a man world. And I mean, speaking of Athena being jealous of Medusa's beauty, well, what about Aphrodite's beauty? I mean, there was that one time when, you know, Athena lost that choice between her, Aphrodite, and Queen Hera. How come she didn't take any swings of that? But that's none of my business. And that's another thing too, speaking of Queen Hera. Everyone be all like, well, Hera was just jealous. Well, what would you do if, you know, you found out your man was being a two-time twilight? Wouldn't you get a little bit mad too about the mistress? Because, I mean, this is none of my business too, but at the wedding between those two, Queen Hera and Zeus, everybody was there and everybody was invited. The only one that didn't show up was this one sea nymph who was all... So really, there's no excuse for any of them to not make an effort to push Zeus back and try and alert Queen Hera. There's no excuse because they were there. So they know. So they get their just desserts for violating that oath. But that's none of my business. And some people even say, like, well, she's very tyrannical. Well, next time that you know, when you find out someone that you're with and married and devoted to or wedded to, next moment that they go behind your back, just make sure to let us know so that way we can be like, oh, don't be jealous now. Don't be all wishing that you got that. Don't be jealous now. Or you're just jealous. No, that doesn't sound right. It's just unrealistic. But anyway. Mm-hmm. I have not used this before, so let's see what happens if I do this. Definitely. Yeah. We'll go with the silver screen. No. Dimwit. Get this out of my life. There we go. Ah, he has returned, and now welcome to the silver screen. That sounds so... Meh. Nope, me just rambling about BS. Hey, Jeremy. Yep, I've already said the message, Jeremy, and I bet you've already known what I table flipped about. And I mean, I feel so much better making that little video clip, being all, someone's head will roll for this. Yours off with his head. Which, sorry. Oh, yeah, that happened quite a bit. Like, still we're doing this? We were still acting like immature children instead of being like, you know what? I'm not going to, pull down somebody else's belief system instead. Instead, I'm going to just not even speak about it because I'm going to look like a dimwit in front of a live studio audience. But no, did it anyway. Well, that's a nice thing between your legs making a loud noise. Careful now, honey. Don't make it vibrate too much. You might, make him pop. I'm just saying. That people come around this corner on their quads and dirt bikes. Well, okay, fine. We shall see what she has to say. If she would like to. Okay. All right. Well, currently this is what's happening. So Adam, in order for you to get forward motion with her, you're going to have to be a little bit more submissive. And you're going to have to be like a little bit more, how do I put this? Like being able to, this is going to sound so awkward, but the only way I can know how to put it. You're going to have to be a little bit more submissive if you catch my drift. Be a little bit more like, you know what I'm trying to get at. Like the more like willing to put in the effort and willing to know your place. That's the only way I know how to put it. Because right now she's like this. She's all, And this is the Queen of Swords. But nonetheless, though, other than that, I mean, it's like you have to get her attention much more. So in order to have this forward motion to go forward, you may have... No, I don't get mad. It's just that... Because if you remember, Lilith is a goddess and a divine that likes to have things be fun and a lot of energy and things happening. She doesn't like things being stale and just boring. I'm going to go look elsewhere. Since there's nothing going on here, I'm just going to go walk away. You have to be exciting. You have to put yourself out there. Yep, you're doing that stupid man thing again. Quit it. Exactly. And then the moon came out. Possibly maybe do some kind of fun activity when the moon's out or during the nighttime. And funny enough, when you have these two come together, oh, look at that. She looks towards the moon. So consider doing something fun during the nighttime. I'll let you decide what that is. And that's how you get your forward motion. Hello, Moon Enchantress. Jeremy, do you have anything that's in the sign of Gemini or Cancer? Like any of your planetary placements? Because coming into 2020, Black Moon Lilith is going to be stepping into Cancer. Alrighty. Yes, Enchantress, what you like? Or what would you like me to look into? Okay, let's see. It's so good having a diffuser now because I can actually just cleanse the deck every time I use it. Get it ready for the next one. Okay. Let's see what comes out then. We'll pull... One. He who's hung most. 1, 2. Ace of Cups. 3. 5 of Cups. Rude. Knocked it out of my hand. That was very nice. And last, King of Cups. So we got it kind of wet right in here. So on the physical, you're pretty much being suggested to retract a little bit and go within. And really self-evaluate yourself. Mars and Saturn in Cancer or Gemini. But anyway, spend some more time retracting from the physical. Yes, Fiona. Retract from the physical and go within a lot more. So check in with your mental, emotional health, and spiritual health. When it comes to the mental health, you're pretty much looking for that nourishment on the mental level. So you possibly could be desiring to have this pure mental thought of having this feeling of being loved, accepted, and nourished. Be it spiritually, emotionally. There's this desire for it. But for the emotional level, there's this feeling of being left behind, taken for granted, and neglected. And this is where the focus is being pointed to. The emotional health is being neglected. But on the spiritual level, you got he who is most drunk with the King of Cups, which also looks like a Vlad the Impaler. So most likely you have the means to do it. You have the means to surpass this 5 of Cups. But the thing is, you have to let your thoughts being able to overturn this and turn it into the Six of Cups, because you have the mastery to do it. What's the obstacle then causing all this BS? Two of Twigs. Being caught between, do I go and join the vampires, or do I go back in and go back home? Be with a human. So you're stuck between choosing to take the action, or to just let this thing kick the bucket once and for all. Be turned into a vampire. So, and also during the next full moon, you actually might be able to get over this, possibly. Just make sure if there's something that's not making you feel emotionally fulfilled or emotionally nourished, punt it. Get it out of your life. Tell it to piss it and stick it. Yes. So you have to make the choice and give yourself permission that, you know what? This thing that's making me feel like emotionally abandoned, well, piss it. Get it out of my life. I don't want nothing to do with it. You have permission to tell it to go and stick it and get it out of your way. Because everybody has the right to choose happiness. You have the permission to do it. You just got to give it to yourself. Just do it. Other than that, you have the means to do it. You just got to do it. Just do it. Saturn. So Fiona. Oh wait. Was it Fiona who was next? I'm going crazy. What else is new? Okay, Fiona. What you want, Fiona? What would you like me to look into? Oh, Lilith's message for Fiona. Let's see what comes out. You. Oh, perfect. The world. First card. Oh, so Black Moon Lilith is going to be transiting over your Mars and Saturn. Okay. I'll have to think that one over. But we'll see. I'll have to have it all go through my head while I'm doing this. So Fiona, first one to pop out, we have the world. And, okay, fine, we'll pull 5 more. That's the core of it all. Card 1. 9 of Cups. Card 2. Actually, technically 3. 3. Another He Who Sung Most. Card number 4. Queen of Twigs, which definitely is like, oh, hi, Lilith. Oh, is that, the first man's head? Go figure. And then we have the Page of Cups. And then our last card to pull. Then the Knight of Cups. Okie dokie. Let's take it from the tip top. So, at the core of this all, she's saying, you have pretty much transcended and gotten past the side that is pretty much where it's the Page and He Who Sung Most, because that's the side it ended on. So those two have ended, and then the new ones to come about are the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Twigs, and then the Knight of Cups, bringing the 9 of Cups. So, you're leaving behind being stuck in a rut and having the very childish emotions. You've grown to a state where you're more in tune and a little bit more mature with your emotions and a little bit more reserved with it. But you definitely have the willpower to achieve what you want now. So much that you're able to take somebody's head and be like, I'm going to play with this thing. I'm going to use it like a basketball. And thus, you have the potential to get your wishes fulfilled and be very overjoyed about it. And if you take a looky right down in here, you'll see right below, like below the vampire figure, like right here, you'll see like a man figure going, no! Like if there was a figure that was like bringing you down, yeah, they're gonna lose their grip. Because now they have to deal instead with a he who's hung most in a page of cups, now they have to deal with a knight of cups and then a queen of wands. Yeah, so talk about major evolution. And this is your new path forward. You're able to be more swift with your spirituality and spiritual pursuit, and you're able to motivate yourself and being able to nourish yourself with a very inspirational way. And then you're going to be fulfilled with this. So yeah, that's nice to have the he who's hung most with immature and youthful emotions being punted out the window. Yes, next is Jeremy. After that, Z, and then Kayla, and then after Kayla, I'm out. Ow! So, Jeremy, what would you like me to look into? And just make sure you keep it, and keep that state that you're in right now. Make sure you keep it, because as soon as you lose it, that's an easy way for love to be all like... Sorry, I got sidetracked. Okay, so... Yes, dear, what would you say about... Current position, 3 of twigs. You have a woman in red with a canine, with a candelabra, going into a building with the front gate blown open. She's like, come on, dude, let's go. I got all ready for this. Come on, hon, let's go. Well, I mean, if that doesn't say anything, well... She's like, I've been waiting for you for how long now? And also the moon. And it's going to be encountering a state where it's just like, come on, dude, getting really sick of waiting here. So yeah, current standing is possibly being in a state where there's something that you want to go towards, but it's so far out there that you're kind of being in a state that's like, I'm not sure if I want this. I'm not sure how to go about this, and I'm kind of a little paranoid to do it, thus making her be like, let's go, come on. Don't be like that. Don't be all... The cause of all this. Funny. The sun. You're allowing the practicality and the realistic 3D world to blind you instead of going towards her. Something on the physical plane is blinding you from being able to go to her. Behind, backing up, is the 8 of Cups. This depiction, we have a woman facing to the right. Kind of like as she's looking up at the moon like, okay, I will. I'll come this way now. Are you sure? Really? No. But anyway. So the 8 of Cups with her looking up this way is like, yes, I will go this way, I promise. But you haven't yet. On top of your head, and what's pretty much in your thoughts is the 9 of Swords. This depiction, we have a bad teenage guy losing his face, and he's all stony. So essentially, you're having these thoughts of pretty much being stuck in a position where, and also the water he's standing in, it's like a frozen lake. So you're in a position where maybe you're thinking that, I can't do this, I can't do it. Go on without me, milady, please. That's not the way to go with her, because she's going to be all, oh boy. Let me just go, get the, let me just get the stilettos on to give you, oh, look at that, a car flew out. Coming towards you is Timber, the tower. What's going to fall? What's fallen is the Six of Blades. That's going face first. Being pretty much put in a position where you're flying all over the place, directionless. And your new foundation is now the Hermit. Now this depiction is pretty much saying that, really? So with this Hermit, you hear me? She's going to make Timber be going like the thoughts in your head, going all over the place. Yeah, she's going to make you sit still and be like, sit. Because in the depiction, you have a figure showing submission to the vampire right there. So she's going to just go, let's come over this way and sit. Because the figure there is showing submission. One more. Yeah, she's gonna be like, come here. Yeah, she's gonna keep a hold of you for a little bit. Put you back on the right track. Okay, then after Jeremy is, was it Z? I'm gonna have to scroll back up. Z, I think? Or am I crazy? Okay. I'm probably crazy. Yep. Okay, Z is next, and after Z is Kayla, then after Kayla, we're done. Yep. Okay, what aspect of life should I focus on the energy of coming in the new year? Okay, and I'll keep that in mind, Kayla. So, let's see here. We will do this like the... Okay, we'll do it this way. Focus point. Fulfillment. You're not fulfilling yourself, Z. You're not giving yourself the fulfillment of life. You're not allowing yourself to get your wishes. Why? Because of someone saying that, no, listen to me, I know what's best for you. But he don't know what's best for you. Stop listening to this twathead. He doesn't know what your wishes are. He doesn't know how to make you feel fulfilled. Only you know how to do that. Don't let them take it from you, because it's your life, your desires, and what you want to do. Yep, Emperor, you have to take control. You have to put your toesy down and tell them to stick it and piss it. Yep. And make sure that you put yourself in a position where you'll be able to be at your best. And be classy with it. And being able to find that fulfillment, which is essentially, here, look at this. Essentially, once you're able to tell him to piss it, and then when you grab, your Emperor capability, that's when you'll be at your best state, and then you come to realize, oh, wait a minute. There's my fulfillment. Right where it's supposed to be, by my own hand. Not because of this twat who thinks he knows what's best. But no, you have to be the one that takes control of you and put your best self first. He can't do anything if you don't let him take control. If you tell him to lick it and piss it, and if he goes out the window, well, he can't really do anything more to you. So take control, hon. If someone's like, well, you should be doing this. Okay, but you should have this. Nobody has control of your life except you. Some people say, well, this person has control over me. Only if you let them. Because until the end of the day, the last time I checked, Your life is yours, not theirs. They have their own. They can worry about their own. Last but not least, Kayla. How can Kayla express her dark feminine side? Let's see what comes out. Card 1. This has to be good. And this is my last one. Card 1. Ooh. Page of Blades. Now this page, she is feisty. She's like, I'm going to find you. I'm going to gut you. Like, you know, that marlin I had last night. Well, first step. Turn up the sass, not have it, and be determined that you're going to get what you're facing after. If you got to stalk it, you got to spy on it. If you got to, like, be intimidating. Oh, Kendra! Oh, I feel so much better. Every time I just feel like you just get splashed with a big bucket of rose water. Thanks, Kendra. Oh. Oh. I just feel so... I just feel so... I feel nourished. Every time she comes in, I just feel nourished. Every time. And so what? It's the Piscean energy, okay? It goes to the depths and cures everything. But anyway, yeah. Page of Blades, Kayla. For the unleashing the dark feminine aspect. Turn up the sass and be all like, I'm going to get this. Scooch. No. You come any closer, you're going to get shanked. Let me get my thing now. At least on the physical plane. And also, since we have in the background, I just noticed this. There is a figure... No, wait. That's the moon in the back. Especially, like, right there. Essentially, have your intuition and the qualities of the moon, such as imagination, creativity, beauty, and as well as kind of being more in control of your psychic awareness. Have that be what guides you and points you in the direction to be like, okay, I'm gonna go through this guy. I'm gonna shank right through him. If I have to cut him open to get through, fine, I'm gonna do it. Let your feelings guide you through it. Another way to do it. Do not let something give you false hope. Because in this depiction we have a statue of an angelic figure being perfectly still praying. Don't let something that's giving you false hope being a source that's bringing you down and giving you a false sense of security. Because this stone figure, it looks like it's been sitting there since Moses walked the earth. And trust me, that was a long... I don't even know if it happened, but still, that's a long time of just sitting there just all... I have hope this is going to happen 50 years later. Well, this is awkward. Yeah. Don't let that weigh you down. 2 more for this. Next one. F this deck. Another way to do it. Step into your power. And yeah, this is the Queen of Cups. So, here we go. Step into your power, and I mean, sometimes, you know, there's absolutely nothing wrong with having your needs met if it's at the cost of somebody else. Because in this depiction, we have, you know, the woman figure sitting in complete power control. And then we have definitely not serving a Snape in the back being all like, yeah, my lady, here, take a chomp and get that bloody Potter kid. He ruined my class. So, if you have to pretty much use somebody else's resources to get to your best state, nothing wrong with that. Because as the way I like to say it, always have to put yourself first and make sure you're standing before anybody else. Once you're standing, then you can give your abundance out. Without that, don't hand yourself out to no one. That's even another thing with like this page of blades. Like, nope, not being held back by anybody. If they come anywhere close, they're going to have this in their hand. Two more. Next one. 2 of Cups. Get that unionship between the physical self of yourself and then the mental and emotional self. Get that balance. Have them come together as a unison. Because they're not really conjoined. But like with this Queen of Cups again. You have the masculine and the feminine joined together, working as a unit. You have, Severus Snape being all like, "Take a bite, my lady, so we can get this Potter out of her life." Get that flow in there. Because once you have that flow, easily you'll have the potential to be able to go through any kind of endeavor. Because this depiction we have definitely not Mr. Abraham Lincoln with his pimp cane being all like, "Oh, 40 years ago I remember this battlefield. Oh, sucked to be the South. They went south." Still, being able to endure anything of the past and still be able to go like if nothing even happened and still focus forward. But you have to have that unison. And the best way to do it is just go full speed ahead and allow that the parts of you that's suppressed, allow them to come forward a little bit more. So if you're a little bit more reserved, flip it. Be more aggressive and take more initiative. If you're too sassy, take it a moment and step back a little bit. It's hard, but anything is possible because I said so. Don't be talked down to. Rip off his head. Literally, I'm not even kidding. That could not have been any better. If there's a figure that's talking down to you, become the Queen of Wands and just rip off his head. You notice how she's holding his head? And she's just all like, stupid man thing. Thinking that you can talk to me like that? Oh, what happened? Oh well, looks like I get to play kickball with your face. Turn up the sass. Be feisty. Anyway, I have to get going because I have a phone call that I missed and it's an important one. So, see you guys later.